What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, the David Dobrik situation, we've been covering it extensively on this channel. David Dobrik finally, after the absolute train wreck that was his first apology, has responded with a brand new video of over 7 minutes long this time. Well done, David. You managed to make a longer apology video. However, before we dive into that, let's go over, because this is extremely interesting, all the sponsors now that David Dobrik has lost, because the list is insane. A thread on Twitter from Popcrave really summarizes it very well. Brands are cutting ties with David Dobrik following misconduct allegations against him in the Vlog Squad. HelloFresh, General Mills, EA Sports, DoorDash, Dollar Shave Club, and Audible have all dropped him. Angel City Football Club also dropped him as owner of the team. Streaming service HBO Max has also dropped David Dobrik. David Dobrik has stepped down from his camera app Dispo. This comes after Spark Capital, the company that led Dispo's recent $20 million investment, announced that it would be severing ties with the app because of David. They said, in light of recent news about the Vlog Squad and David Dobrik, the co-founder of Dispo, we have made the decision to sever all ties with the company. We have stepped down from our position on the board, and we are in the process of making arrangements to ensure we do not profit from our recent investment in Dispo. Wow. Honey confirms they aren't working with David Dobrik moving forward following the allegations against him and his Vlog Squad. Frank's Red Hot. I didn't even know they sponsored David Dobrik. Frank's Red Hot is no longer working with David Dobrik, but we were troubled to hear of the recent allegations against him. We pride ourselves on fostering a safe and inclusive environment, and this behavior is not reflective of our values. SeatGeek. Again, we talked about how they potentially were going to drop him, his biggest sponsor by far, as well, have dropped him. SeatGeek, the company known for sponsoring David Dobrik's Tesla's giveaway, tells TubeFilter has no plans to work with David Dobrik again. And finally, Chipotle have dropped David Dobrik, saying Chipotle tells Popcrave they take the allegations related to David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad very seriously and have no plans to work with him again in the future. Anyone or anything that is associated with David Dobrik is wiping their hands of him because of this messed up situation. Also, Natalie, David's old assistant, I think, has spoken out saying, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the recent allegations. Because of the severity, it's taking me time to process. Like many of you, I'm upset and angry and do not condone the behavior detailed in the article or any misconduct, abuse for that matter. I want to make it clear that I acknowledge here and support those who come forward, and I stand by the victims. So without further ado, let us get into it. David Dobrik has uploaded a new apology video titled 22nd of March 2021. And look, this time, David actually has the likes, dislikes on, and the comments turned on. Well done, David. Already better than your last apology because you're actually letting people have an opinion.
Hi guys, it's 1:45 in the morning. And I'm finally by myself. Now I just wanna be able to do this and just shoot straight into the camera and just talk to you guys.
I don't understand why you didn't just do that in the first place, David. Why the hell did you release that bullshit apology a few days ago? I mean, it was literally the other day, titled, Let's Talk, more like shut up and listen to me, because everything was turned off, the likes, comments. He goes on to talk about apologizing for a lot of his past actions and also addressing the apology video he made a few days ago.
I've put myself in a lot of situations where I've needed to apologize for my past actions, and I've never done this correctly, and I've never done this respectfully, and my last video is a testament to that. I don't want to defend that video. I don't want to delete that video. I just want to be clear.
So you're now making an apology for your last apology video that was a few days ago in a new apology video. Sorry if I find it hard to believe anything he says as genuine, especially because this new apology comes hot off the heels of him losing literally every brand he's ever partnered with. So that dumb shit aside, David goes on to address the Dom situation head on this time, rather than this pathetic attempt.
And with people in my life that I don't film with anymore, like Dom, I don't align with some of the actions, and I don't stand for any kind of misconduct, and I've been really disappointed by some of my friends.
From his last apology,
I want to start this video off by saying I fully believe the woman who came out against Dom and said she was assaulted by him. As it was reported, the next day I got consent to post the video. Even though I got the consent to post that video, I should have never posted it.
Yeah. That should have been pretty obvious to you, David. Especially as now revealed by Ethan Klein, there was photo evidence of you there at the end of the night where the girl in question was being carried home because she was so drunk.
Taken at 1:18 a.m. from one of the witnesses, one of the girls there. It has in it all of you guys outside, Todd, you, Jonah, David. What you see here is one of the girlfriends holding up Hannah, who was the victim, because she's blackout drunk. You can see her here being held up right here. And all of you guys there.
That right there would, to most decent human beings, be a healthy indicator not to exploit or post content about them. But for you at the time, it was just content and getting them views, so it didn't matter. However, as I say, this is much better than the previous apology where he literally just references Dom's name. It's insultingly bad. And the fact he even attempted to make that apology will forever stain this apology. Because if we're truly being honest with ourselves, if that apology worked and he got no backlash, he would have left it. He would have been fine leaving that apology up. But it didn't, and for once, everything wasn't going David Dobrik's way, so he made this one.
And what I understand now, and I didn't understand before, is that she sent that text because she felt like she had to, not because she wanted to. And that's fucked up. And I'm sorry. When she later reached out a couple months later to take the video down, I immediately took it down. And I want to apologize to her and her friends for ever putting them in an environment that I enabled that made them feel like their safety and values were compromised. I'm so sorry.
David is rightfully saying sorry about that, because easily one of the most shocking revelations in this story that I showed in my previous video was that Dom had accusations before, 2 or 3 years prior, which David knew about and continued to platform him and make him successful and put him in these crazy situations with women. In Dom's apology video, he describes himself around women like this.
I am aggressive when talking to women, I will say that.
Who could be so blind as to keep allowing this guy to be around girls and women in these situations? Like, they're all clouded by the clout and don't live in reality at all.
I was completely disconnected from the fact that when people were invited to film videos with us, especially videos that relied on shock for views or whatever it was, that I was creating an unfair power dynamic. I did not know this before. It was completely wrong, and I wish I was more responsible, and I wish I was more aware at the time, and I'm so sorry I missed that.
Why else did you think people did everything you wanted them to do in your vlogs? What other possible reason is there? I find it really hard to believe he didn't know this was going on. People in your vlogs would do anything to please Daddy David, and you'd get away with so much shit because everyone was a yes man around you and wouldn't dare speak up against it. Now, he can plead ignorance in this apology video because that is the easiest way out. That's the easiest way to explain it. I didn't know it was happening. I'm ignorant to it. And I have a hard time believing he's unaware of the influence he had, especially when the camera was rolling. People were trying to get clout by being in the vlogs. People would act crazy in David's vlogs and do the craziest stuff. You're telling me you don't know why and it wasn't because of the clout and the influence? You must just be a moron. He then continues to talk about the Dom incident and that night in particular.
I didn't know what was going on in that room, and I should have been. I should have been there, and I should have been making sure that everybody involved was taken care of and wasn't uncomfortable.
And again, this is so weird because you've claimed previously that you did in fact see what was going on in the room.
Yeah, my buddy Dom made an Instagram story, and he's like, I want to have a fivesome tonight, hit me up. And this girl hit him up, and she's like, I have friends. And she sent over all her friends' Instagram links. And he's like, yeah, come through. And 7 of them ended up showing up. And then they all, they were, when they all got there, they were like, oh, no, I don't want to have sex. And then
like blatantly in front of everybody.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to have sex, except 2 of the girls wanted to have sex. So he just ended up having a threesome, which was still his first threesome, and it was very exciting for him. So
well, you guys sent like 3 of your friends in to confirm it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he didn't have sex with them unless we saw it with our own eyes. So
when it was cool and fun to brag about, you all witnessed it with your own eyes, but now you're in hot shit. You didn't know what was going on in the room?
He didn't have sex with them unless we saw it with our own eyes.
I didn't know what was going on in that room.
Again, I have a hard time believing that one because of what has already been said from his own mouth. He then goes on to address the previous accusations that we spoke about in a previous video and earlier in this video. These were before this particular incident.
I also want to acknowledge the women that spoke out against Dom in 2018. I'm talking about Allie, and then I'm talking about other girls that addressed their problems privately or publicly. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you guys. I am sorry that I took Dom's word for what happened in those certain situations, and I didn't believe you. And not only did I not believe you, but I made a joke of what kind of a person Dom was, because I couldn't wrap my head around a childhood friend of mine doing this to people and actually hurting people, and I'm sorry for that. Not only did I discredit you, Ali, but I platformed Dom. And not only did I platform Dom, but I platformed the subject of sex in a negative way, where I made jokes about it, and I reinforced that kind of behavior. And I'm so sorry, and I really let not only you down, but a lot of people down, a lot of people that watch me and my friends and family for that.
So David is apologizing to these other victims of Dom. Him apologizing to these victims isn't for any of us to accept or deny. Only the people who are involved get to do that. It's their situation, it's their experience. If they choose to accept it, that is for them to accept or not to accept. But to see David actually acknowledge this is something I actually didn't expect to see. At least he's done that, which is the bare minimum, but at least he's done that, because like I've said a million times, his last apology did fuck all.
I made the decision to no longer film with Dom in 2019, and I'm not saying my content has been brilliant since then, but that's when I first started taking into account the power dynamic and what influence I had on people that I was filming with. But what I didn't do is I didn't go back to any of these women and apologize. I kind of moved on, and I learned from it, and I grew from it, but I didn't address the situation with these women. I'm not talking publicly, I'm saying even privately. I didn't reach out to any of these people, and that breaks my heart, knowing that I was doing all this stuff and I was making all this content while there was people that were still really hurt by what I made.
Well, it's probably because, and I think it's safe to make this assumption, you didn't care at the time, so you found it easy to move on without thinking of others. Because with these vloggers and huge YouTubers who are on a daily grind, all they care about is views and the next big thing. Which is a very dangerous way to think, especially if your content is like David's and involves a lot of different people. Like we've seen with Seth, like we've seen with Nick, other people have gotten hurt just by the way you shot content. David then talks about old jokes he made and again apologizes for his last apology video he made a few days ago.
Before my content shifted to be more responsible and positive, I said and did things that were really offensive, and I called them bad jokes, and I can't even call them bad jokes, and it was cowardly of me to say in my last apology that I missed the mark, because it's fucking gross, and I'm sorry.
Yep. It definitely was. Like a lot of the things you've done these last few weeks, David, it's all been extremely cowardly. It does make me laugh, like seeing him apologize for an apology video he did a few days ago, as if he's some sort of different person now. What is he, Dr. Who? Can he regenerate in seconds to a completely new man?
A lot of people reached out to me saying cancel culture is bullshit and you need to fight back and you need to call people out, and I don't agree with how this should be taken at all.
Well, whoever said that are fucking morons. This isn't cancel culture. These are very real and serious claims. So bin off whatever friend told you that, because they clearly don't have your best interests at heart.
And I think when there is a crisis, there's a serious opportunity to correct yourself, to learn and improve, and to make sure those mistakes don't happen again.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying here. Of course, people want to see change and improvement. That is the reason why we call people out on their shitty behavior, so that they can see what they're doing is wrong and change.
I'm going to take a short break from all the social media stuff because I realize there's a serious lack of infrastructure when I make any kind of content. And I want to be able to have a place of checks and balances. I want to have HR, and I want to be able to have people communicate discomfort in a way that's comfortable to them.
Only a short break? Man, I would be taking a longer break if I were you. Obviously, it's completely up to him how long of a break he takes, and how this break and him coming back gets received is up to his audience. But yeah, he just launched his new podcast, Views, so I'm assuming he invested a lot into that and doesn't want it to go to waste. Maybe, I don't know, just a guess. He then ends the apology with the pretty cliche line of hoping other people will learn from his experience, something every YouTube apology seems to include.
I'm sorry if this video was all over the place. I just wanted to sit and talk and ramble, and I really truly hope that someone can take something away from this experience, that another creator can take away from this. And I know it feels, because I know how crazy it felt to me, that there was some sort of toxicity or some sort of power dynamic in my friend group. But really just take the moment, especially when creating content that you're trying to get viewership out of, or you're trying to get laughs out of, like really take a moment and look at where the jokes end and where the feelings begin, because I think that's so incredibly important. Okay, I'll see you guys. Bye.
And that's about the size of it. That is the new and improved apology. Now, like I said previously, he's apologizing to the victims, so it's for them to accept or not. I'm pointing out the hypocrisies or the flaws that I see or what I think. However, you know, I'm not going to say if I accept or deny it because it's not for me to accept. I'm just commentating and giving my opinion. Dom has still said fuck all, and quite frankly, I think it should stay that way, because I hope the police are investigating this motherfucker and he gets put to trial. Because the last thing anyone wants to see, I think we can agree, is him try and make an apology video. He tried that 3 years ago with past claims, and it was the most insincere bullshit I've ever seen. So I hope he saves it for the police, because that is the best route for this to go. As for David, well, I personally don't like the guy. Never will. I think, you know, this apology was him with his back to the wall, millions of dollars being flushed down the toilet. And again, the question you have to ask yourself is, if the first apology worked, would he have just left that up and not made another one? In my opinion, probably. I'm a pretty pessimistic guy though, so. Also, this apology itself, I disagreed with some point, but I mean, obviously it was a hell of a lot better than his previous apology. The bar wasn't set very high. Trisha Paytas herself reacted to the apology by saying, "I'm glad he's acknowledging things, and I hope he truly has some sort of empathy now. It took losing all his sponsors for him to say something, and that speaks volumes." But let me know. I'm very interested to know what you think down below of David's apology. Do you think he is being sincere? Only time will tell. Like the Logan Paul situation, you know, over time, Logan Paul won people's respect back because he made a genuine change as a person and completely quit the vlogging lifestyle too. David will have to do the same and show some change. Always the vloggers, man. The Logan Paul, David Dobrik, it's the crazy vloggers, man. It's just that mindset of having to do something every day that is so crazy and better than the last day. You're just not living a real life. Come back to earth. Ground yourself a bit more, David. That lifestyle isn't real. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video right now if you're here. Give it a like. I can see you. Hit that button. Subscribe if you're new as well. Turn notifications on. All my socials are down in the description. Just open up the description. Follow my Twitter. Follow my Instagram. Let me know what you think of this whole situation scenario as well. Reach out to me on my social platforms. I always respond on there. And yeah, that is it for this video. Till next time, fuck off.